Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Tony B coming to you live today from Parts Unknown as we welcome you to another edition. It is your Tony Basilio Show on a Thursday. John Adams is here, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. Pretty fired up today. Focused and prepared. We have a great show lined out for you today on the program. We're going to talk quarterback play, the importance of it, and where have all the Cowboys gone? As joining us here in hour one will be Brooks Austin. He's covers Georgia with SI.com, but really he's making his name for himself over on YouTube as the Film Guy. He's with the Film Guy Network. So, and I want to talk with him about the Athletics quarterback ratings. Also, Adam Sparks, who furthered the story yesterday on Boo Carter, will join us. We also, he'll be on after we visit with Brooks Austin. But before I do anything else, let's say hello to the panel. Hello, panel. John Adams, welcome in, man. Great to have you back. I'm not in the same room with you. I'm upstairs right now in my house. John's in our Rainier studio. My back continues to not cooperate, but I went to the doctor yesterday and did a little something about it. But anyway, anything that I say today on the air cannot and will not be held against me, as I'm under the influence of, well, I'm just under the influence. John, welcome in, my friend. And how surprised are we, John, to see the Athletic has our quarterback heading into this season? And this is something I want to talk about. They've got Nico, number 19 in America, and they tier these guys off. You know, they put them in tiers. And you got to go all the way down to tier 6 to find Joey Aguilar, who they say is the number 60 quarterback in the country. And ironically, the number 61 quarterback plays at Syracuse. And the only quarterback ranked behind Joey football in the league is Zach Light on the Cheese Calzada. So, John, it's Joey football's getting zero respect. These people are getting zero respect, man.
Well, first of all, Tony, I want to say I feel really bad that you've been in a lot of pain and you're on medication. But maybe this will make you feel better. One of my few flaws is that I'm overly empathetic. So if somebody else is suffering, I really feel it. And so I'm probably suffering more than you right now, just thinking about how you're suffering. So we don't need to dwell on that, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. As for Joey Aguilar, as Joey Football, as you jokingly call him, I guess, I don't think that's disrespectful. All he's ever done is play in the Sun Belt, so he's a blank slate. I don't think that's disrespectful at all, because once he does something in the SEC, that ranking could change. But I don't know of anybody else that I would rank below him in the SEC going into the season. Most of these guys have done more at a higher level of play. So I don't see that as disrespectful. I think Joey Aguilar might, because I think he'll be motivated. I think he comes in with a chip on his shoulder, and I think it'll probably help him focus that much more.
Matt, when you saw that rating of 60, and then the company he's in there with, the guys like Steve Angeli, who was a guy that jumped into the portal late, and I guess he was in the portal right around the time Joey Football was. It was almost like you could see these teams running out of dance partners and who's going to mix and match over here. But when you see him listed with the likes of Zach Calzada, Tommy Castellanos, who great part of a great crime family back in the 70s. Taven Jackson at Central Florida. By the way, I saw where Gaston Moore is going to go to Central Florida this year. What do you make of this, Matt? That our guy is in the company of some real, what I would call some real Jags, man. Just a guy. He's in the just a guy tier, Matt.
Yeah, and kind of towards the bottom of that tier, even. I think it's a little low if they're kind of projecting where they're going to do this season with the Josh Heupel quarterback. I would actually be really curious where he ranked last year going into the season, because I believe he was the Sun Belt offensive player of the year when he had that breakout year 2 years ago. So I think there were probably high expectations for him last season. I would guess he would have been like a fringe top 25 quarterback if the Athletic did these rankings last year. But you can use it as motivation. I definitely think so. Your Castellanos guy, you say he's in a crime family. He's been talking a lot this offseason. He's at Florida State now. He's going to get whacked in that first game against Alabama.
He's got some muscle behind him. Well, here, Tony, when you talk about these other guys, I'm just going over my head, the SEC guys. Where's Gunnar Stockton ranked? Where is Ty Simpson ranked?
Yeah, so Ty Simpson's 47. Gunnar Stockton's 48.
Okay, well, see, he's not that far removed from them. And those are guys that have been in the SEC, but they've never done anything.
Yeah,
I think that's what these ratings reflect. We don't know what they can do. Now, if Georgia and Alabama have the 47th and 48th best quarterbacks in the country, they got problems, and they're not going to get to where they want to go. So, and I don't know about those guys. I really don't. I mean, that's the question I have about Alabama and Georgia. They have good supporting casts, but I don't know how good those guys are. I really like what Gunnar Stockton did against Texas in the SEC game. I think he's a fiery guy, team leader, that kind of thing. But don't you think he feels disrespected by that? I mean, he beat Texas in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, I bet he's all kinds of disrespected. By the way, another thing that's kind of interesting, that Jackson Arnold guy who flatlined last year to Oklahoma, you talk about what you can do on the field. They've got him ranked 35.
Well, I mean, I think that guy has a lot of talent. That seems a little high, though, because he didn't play well. But that tells me they're still they're attributing that more to what he had at Oklahoma. How many teams have lost their top 5 wide receivers in college football? That's what happened with Oklahoma last year. Plus, they had a makeshift offensive line, injuries in that area. Jackson Arnold, though, he rushed for 131 yards in beating Alabama 24-3. He's got good arm talent. Too many turnovers, didn't handle pressure well. Handled it kind of like Nico did when those two teams met. Both struggled, but I can kind of see, because of actually throwing the ball, that he would be ranked ahead of Ty Simpson and Gunnar Stockton.
I think it's really interesting. I tell you the thing I keep coming back to in the league, and I want to talk with Brooks Austin about this, your film guy, when we continue on the other side, and that's this. The SEC's top-tier teams have quarterback issues, except for LSU. But he's a guy, on any given Saturday, they'll throw the ball up for grabs. So he can make plays, he can help you, he can hurt you. But we'll grab Brooks Austin, bring him in here on the other side. And upon the continuance, we'll talk to the film guy. By the way, on Boo Carter, the date to remember, save the date. The date is probably going to be Sunday. Tennessee has a team meeting scheduled Sunday night. And the belief is that if Boo's there, he'll get a chance to apologize to his team and face whatever punishment he has. And if Boo's not there, it's going to be bye, boo. So, Adam Sparks will be with us. I didn't want to cloud and only just focus on the Boo Carter thing today, because truly that's where this thing stands. What the percentage chances are on it, who knows? There are people internally inside Tennessee's organization that don't like how this thing feels in terms of him coming back. Who knows? Adam Sparks evoked the Nico deal this offseason for the Tennessee football fan. I'm going to say this, okay? You ready? It's been exhausting. This has been exhausting. But there's a belief out there that this kid couldn't get eligible at Colorado. This kid could play game 1 at Colorado. So don't fool yourself. And I'll tell you how that could happen. And if this nutty agent is really in the picture with him, and who knows? The mother was saying things online. His mother, Mama Boo, was saying things about this Chattanooga-based agent yesterday. I mean, this whole thing is a total freaking circus. And it's really not fair to anybody. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the players on the team. People say, well, Tony, this is an internal issue. Only why are you talking about it? What do you mean? You got a prominent playmaking starter that was on a $700,000 deal who hadn't been on campus for several days, while everybody else has gone through these mandatory summer workouts. You don't think that's a story? You got to be out. And then what happens if he pops up and he's not there on Sunday night? What then? Is it a story then? I mean, give me a break. Those of you who say this isn't a story, it's bizarre is what it is. But I don't want to talk about it. We'll come back on the other side and get the film guy in here after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
Your Smokies are back home this week, and so many great promotions every single night. Like all-you-can-eat Wednesday and Thirsty Thursday with half-off draft beers. Huge special guest on Friday. You guessed it, Santa and Mrs. Claus. It's Christmas in July. And on Saturday, it's wrestling night with live matches after the game. Fireworks both nights. Sunday, make sure to get the little ones out early with Peppa Pig.
I'm Peppa Pig.
Grab your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Summer is officially here, and the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe when extreme Tennessee temperatures arrive. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Say it, know it, love it, and write it down, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us on your TLD Logistics Hotline, back by popular demand and back for the crown this year from the Film Guy Network. You will bow thy head when you say thy name. Brooks Austin joining. And Brooks, hope all's well in your world. And how about it, my friend? It really, I don't know about on your end, but it's pretty fast summer right there. And it's upon us. Quick. And, man, it's on our minds right now. It is on our minds. And, you know, one of the things that's really going to be interesting here is we were just talking before you jumped on. And, you know, you look at the game and you think about the quarterbacks, right? And there are so many question marks in the SEC, even among the elite teams, in terms of what kind of quarterback play are you going to have? I don't ever remember a year with this many questions across the league. Do you?
No, I don't. I mean, there were the 16 teams in the conference. I think there are 4 returning starters: Lenore Sellers, Garrett Nussmeier, Taylor Green, and that's about it. And Pavia and Diego Pavia.
Pavia,
4 of 60. So we have 3/4 of the league working in first-year full-time starters. I know Marcel Reed got some playing time last year. DJ Lagway got some playing time last year. But this is their first year and off-season as the guy. And we got several football teams kind of getting their starter in July, kind of like what Tennessee may have done as well.
It's wild. And you know, you talking about the Tennessee situation. We were just talking about those athletic quarterback ratings that they put out, which is kind of fun sort of to look at on paper. That seems like a very, very difficult exercise simply because you're covering so many teams. But what they've come up with is they believe Joey Aguilar is the 11th best quarterback in the Southeastern Conference. And they also have Gunnar Stockton down the list. They also have Ty Simpson down the list as well. You think those guys are underrated on that list, or do you think those guys are where they should be because we just haven't seen enough sample size from them at this level?
Yeah, I don't think they're underrated. I think they're unknown. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody, unless you're a film guy or unless you're a Tennessee fan, ain't nobody out here going back and watching Joey Aguilar tape. They're just looking at the box scores that are available for them. They're looking at the stats that they can find on College Football Stat Reference. And those other two you mentioned, Gunnar Stockton and Ty Simpson, I think they have a combined 100 career pass attempts. So that it's more of an unknown thing for me than an underrated thing. It's hard to project what those guys are going to be unless you know a lot about those situations. I like the situation that Ty Simpson has, right? That is a quarterback-friendly offense if you can actually throw the football from within the pocket and play the position, not play it as a runner like Jalen Milroe did last year. That's an offense that every year with Kalen DeBoer as a play caller has averaged 4,000 yards passing. Last year was the only one they did not throw for that many. They threw for 2,800 yards. It is a drastic blip on the radar for Kalen DeBoer performances as a passing offense last year with Jalen Milroe at the helm. And as far as Joey goes, man, like I really like the situation he's in, right? It's a turnover-prone guy last year by nature, especially if you look, again, at the box score. But that dude had the, I think, 135th best defense on his team last year at Appalachian State and knew for a fact if they were going to win, they had to score 40 points. So he put the ball at risk at much higher rates last year. I don't think they're going to have to do that at Tennessee for him. I've been, really, really impressed with the amount of, resources that Tennessee under Heupel has thrown on the defensive side of the football. They're one of the better defensive units in the league nowadays. So you don't have to be pushing the ball down the field and as aggressively into tight windows as he did last year. And by nature of the system, Heupel's offense doesn't necessarily turn it over at rates that others do. So I think a lot of these guys are unknowns, but going into really, really good situations. Obviously, Gunnar Stockton's weaponry around him is much better than it was last year when he finished the season as a starter against Notre Dame.
Around the horn we go as Brooks Austin joins. We also got here on the program live with us Brian Hartman, Matt Dixon, John Adams. All will get in here and get to spend a little time with a guy that really does a great job. And I'm going to let him tell you all about what he does over at YouTube, and because it's extremely, extremely, extremely good in terms of understanding the game. But let's, without further ado, bring Brian Hartman in. Brian, you're on with Brooks Austin.
Hello, Brooks. Thanks for coming on with us. I wanted to ask about DJ Lagway and where you have him ranked. Do you think that him and Napier can have the type of year where they could win 8-9, maybe get in the playoff contention? And also, do you think sometimes maybe Napier's play calling could hold him back? Would that be a concern?
I think,
and his injury status.
Oh yeah, the injury status is very, very confusing because I thought it was a shoulder injury, and everybody told me it was a shoulder injury. You look on social media, Florida fans claim he was playing with half of a leg last year, so that's a lower body injury. And then I go on with SEC Radio, and Chris Doring tells me that it was an intestinal issue that was causing him to compensate, and they were worried about maybe causing shoulder issues because of the compensation. Bottom line, if he's healthy, he's a freak. Like, he's really, really talented. I would say the most talented thrower of the football in college football this year. However, that system is not very easy to play in, guys. Like, we were talking about being in quarterback-friendly systems like Heupel's and like some of these systems that are available in college football. Florida ain't one of those, in my opinion. But I tracked it. He had 30 pass attempts against Tulane. I charted the first 25 of those throws. 2 of the 25 throws were at, near, or behind the line of scrimmage. The rest of them were 15 yards or so beyond the line of scrimmage. Big boy throws, like really tough, difficult, down-the-field, tight window throws, leading receivers, doing things like that. So that is a really tough system to play in, and he's got to eliminate some of those riskier decisions, the riskier throws he makes. I don't think there's any doubt that DJ Lagway knows how talented he is. We just got to play the position a little bit more boring, or else we're just going to be one of those talented throwers of the football. There have been millions of those. That's not exactly what the position requires every down. Every down, the position requires you to be a little bit boring, to be disciplined, to check the ball down, to throw it away when it's not there, and then to drive the car really fast when it's available, right? To make the explosive plays when they are there, but not to force these things. I thought last year too often he was forcing things. You talk about another group of weapons down there, though, man, they signed some really, really good high school football players coming out last year at the wide receiver position. They get Eugene Wilson back, signed a transfer out of UCLA, I believe. Like, they got really, really good weaponry down there and have invested in it because they know the timeline, they know the timetable. Billy's got to win this year, but you're really only going to get 2 years with DJ Lagway as a starter. He'll be a first-round draft pick, not this class, but next class.
Yeah, he's really special. Let me jump John Adams of my Knoxville News Sentinel in here, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com, as we're breaking it down with the film guy here, and we are having us a fun Thursday as we wind our way through another summer day here, getting us closer to kickoff. Matt, jump on in. John, jump on in. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Brooks, you obviously spend a lot of time evaluating these quarterbacks, and you brought up to something that I think is very significant. When you talked about Ty Simpson, a guy who's never done anything, had that start against South Florida last year, wasn't impressive, but it was an odd situation just to be thrown in there. But you said that you talked about Kalen DeBoer's offense. It's very quarterback friendly. When you look at that, when you look at Georgia with Kirby Smart, the best coach in college football, and all that Georgia has there personnel-wise on defense, increase their wide receiver strength there too. What a quarterback, rating a quarterback. God, I sound like I'm doing a monologue here. My point is it's hard to evaluate quarterback. There's so many things that go into it, and one of them is can you do what the offense requires, what your system requires? And so that, to me, makes it hard to evaluate how good a quarterback might be.
Yeah, no doubt. When I look at quarterback systems and offensive coordinators and head coaches like Kalen DeBoer, I just look at their track record and their history of decision making. So, like, what is the type of athlete that they are choosing to hunt after every single class, right? And I go back to his days at Washington and even his days at Indiana, right? Michael Penix is his guy. Gets him to come out there to Washington. And then during his time at Washington, the last quarterback that he signs is Austin Mack, a 6'6", 225-pound guy that they got to reclass early in high school and come to Alabama with them. They transferred over with them. Now, the last quarterback addition that he made at the Washington roster was Will Rogers, right? The guy who broke the record for completion percentage here in this conference in the SEC out at Mississippi State, a real dink and dunk type of quarterback, not a super athlete, right? So, and even go back to Fresno State, Jake Haener, not a super freak in terms of an athlete, just a real good from the pocket quarterback passer. All right. You look at his decisions in recruiting at Alabama, right? Keelan Russell might be a good athlete, but that is a dynamic passer from within the pocket, right? You look at Jet Tamala, the kid that he took out of Iowa State or flipped from Iowa State. The first 4 minutes of that dude's highlight tapes are from the pocket. Like, he does not move. He does not run around. He is a dart-throwing dude from the pocket. You look at the guy he just got from Utah the other day, right? The Taden kid, the Maiba kid. That's a 6'5", 235-pound. He might as well be Austin Mack. So I give you this whole long answer about his decision-making history at the quarterback position just to let you know and solidify the fact that he was playing with one arm tied behind his back last year with Jalen Milroe. It was so foreign to him as a play caller and an offensive coordinator and a play designer to have a run-first quarterback. That's something that they have never done. As long as I've studied Kalen DeBoer, dating back to his days at Fresno State, the most exotic quarterback run that they've ever done is like a in-the-red zone quarterback sweep when the whole defense is overloaded. Like, they do not run with the quarterback in this offense. But they had to last year because of who the leader of that program was and who the roster that they overtook was. I expect DeBoer, and especially now that Grubb's back, man, I expect them to be far more comfortable offensively than they were last year. Last year, they were playing with a brand-new identity.
Hey, Matt Dixon, jump in here with Brooks Austin, who joins. And I'll tell you what, Brooks is on his game today. He's fired up, focused, and prepared, as they say in the trade.
24/7.
Come on, brother.
Stay locked in. Come
on, brother. Let's get Matt Dixon. Jump in, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to circle back around the Tennessee and kind of a two-parter. Just what do you think are the strengths of Aguilar's game and how they fit in Heupel's system? And then obviously, like Hendon Hooker and especially that 22 year was kind of video game-like stuff, kind of been regression in the last 2 years. How much of Tennessee's offensive struggles in the passing game have been more maybe personnel and quarterback related versus what defenses are doing differently and adjusting to that? Because outside of Georgia, nobody really stopped the Hendon Hooker offenses at Tennessee.
Yeah, no, I think it's a combination of all of it. When I studied Tennessee's offense, the most important thing to me with a quarterback is, do you have consistent rapport with your wide receivers? Meaning, do you and the wide receiver that you are throwing to, do y'all see defenses the same way? The thing about a wide choice offense, which is what they run, is that wide receivers have a choice to run specific routes based on what they see. So if me and the wide receiver, meaning me, the quarterback, and the wide receiver do not see the same things the same way, you're going to see a lot of hesitation at the quarterback. You're going to see a lot of ball tapping. You're going to see a lot of holding the rock. You're going to see a lot of dead feet. I saw a ton of that with Joe Milton. I saw a ton of that with Nico. That's not something you saw with Hendon, with Jalen Hyatt, with that combination of wide receivers and quarterbacks that they had, especially year 2 of Hendon Hooker out there at Tennessee. So that is one thing. The other thing is, like last year, Tennessee's offense, in my opinion, my personal opinion, was hindered by 3 things. One, quarterback could not hit the deep ball, was completely inaccurate, and I would borderline say inept at throwing the ball 25 yards down the field. His lower body mechanics, Nico's, were completely disconnected. He just was not a deep, accurate thrower of the football in an offense that requires you to be that, all right? Secondarily, they could not protect him for the first half of the season. Lance Hurd was playing on one leg. We all know this. You guys know this. That high ankle thing is not something to deal with when you're a left tackle getting spun like a top, especially on road games in the SEC. And the third and final thing, which I'm going to be honest, I don't think they solved this offseason. Guys, they didn't have wide receivers. They did not. I think we talked about this last time I was with you guys. Mike Matthews was a true freshman. Squirrel White's playing on damn one arm last year. Every time he falls on the ground, he separates his shoulder again. Like, they just had nothing. I think Dante Thornton was playing half the season with a broken finger. So, like, they had no weaponry last year. The quarterback couldn't complete balls downfield, and they couldn't protect. Yet they won 10 games. Like, that was nuts to me last year to watch.
You're the man. Tell the living listener where they can find you, and I hope you'll come back and do it again with us as we get closer to the season and fire this thing up. Tell the living listener how they can see what you're doing.
Ain't no doubt about it. First and foremost, you got me anytime you want me. I love coming on here. It's good energy. I love the fact I'm listening to the commercial breaks. Bro, you voiced every single commercial. I listened to 5 minutes of commercial.
No fear.
The ads on all of them.
No fear gear, bro. No fear. No fear over here.
Grinder. You are a grinder. I appreciate that about you. But no, you can find me at Brooks Austin BA on all social media, and you already plugged it, man. We do great stuff on YouTube. Just uploaded a Caleb Downs film study over there as well. The Film Guy Network on YouTube. Appreciate you boys for having me on. We'll talk soon.
Say it, know it, and write it down. He's unbelievable, Andy. Matt, that dude's got some serious juice about him. And I think this season is really intriguing in this league. So many question marks at quarterback. And you know there's going to be some good, surprising answers for some teams. And some teams are going to find lemons because that's the way it goes. But it's an interesting thing to stop and think about, Matt. I mean, we can make too much out of it, or you can make not enough out of a quarterback play in this era we're in right now.
Yeah, and quarterback play wasn't great last year. Kind of down in the league. We'll see how that goes this year. And another thing, and kind of it might be I don't know if it's just SEC related. It doesn't seem like there's as many like just absolute like studs on either side of the ball. Like guys that you just look at and say, hey, that guy's got a 10-year career in the NFL. Yep. Like a sure thing, like first round. Like it doesn't feel like there's those studs, especially like on defensive lines. Like there's just not elite players this year right now that have, going into the season. Obviously some will emerge. So I think there's just a whole lot of intrigue with really every team.
And that really, John, that really opens the door, doesn't it? When we get into thinking about like stars always emerge. People always are going to fill that gap. I mean, Lenore Sellers is a great example. He's the third-ranked quarterback in college football coming into the season. Last year, if you'd have told people that, hey, he'll be ranked the third best quarterback by this athletic thing. I'm not talking about the way the pros see these guys. I'm talking about for college football. We would have laughed at that, John.
I know. In some ways, he came out of nowhere. But I think what Sellers did last year and what Lagway did in the second half of the season, I think that tends to make fans optimistic because you're talking about we're uncertain about quarterbacks. I think there's a really high upside with this quarterback group. I mean, I think Lagway, Sellers, Nussmeier, Arch Manning, I think those are all first-round draft picks. That's just 4 right off the top. But I think there are other guys who can move up and be, considered much better pro prospects than they are right now. I look at a guy like at Ole Miss with Austin Simmons. He hasn't played. Maybe he's this year's Lenore Sellers. I don't know. But I'm just saying there's that possibility. And one of the good things I thought Brooks brought up, it's important to remember, he talked about quarterbacks in a different system and how that system works and can they fit the system well. You take a guy like Lane Kiffin, a coach's track record with quarterbacks. That's why I'm optimistic about Austin Simmons being a good quarterback at Ole Miss. He showed up flashes of potential, and then he has Lane Kiffin, who has a really strong record at quarterbacks. And I thought it was a great point he made about Alabama last year in Milroe. I know some Alabama fans are down on Kalen DeBoer, but you look at that guy's track record, and it's tremendous. And his track record with quarterbacks is really good. And now he's got guys that he picked.
Let's, without further ado, bring the man, the myth, the legend in who furthered the story yesterday on the Boo Carter saga. And I think, Adam Sparks, you can officially call this thing kind of a saga. And you even evoked Nico's name in the article. And I'm going, things not on my Singo card in late July, talking about another potential Nico, I'm going to leave you situation on Tennessee's campus. This Boo Carter thing is a little bit of a mess, Adam, isn't it? As I bring you in, welcome in on the TLD Logistics phone lines.
Yeah, I mean, the Nico comparison, it's not apples to apples, and I explained that in the story, but I think there's could be some similarities in the feel that Tennessee fans have because Nico left in the 11th hour, right? Missed the last practice spring, didn't go to spring game. Boo right now, Tennessee fans are worried that they could lose him, just days from preseason practice. It's just, I was on an out-of-state station earlier today, and they were asking me sort of about the roster and all this, and sort of their take was, why did Tennessee not prepare more, to replace this player or that player, Nico? They asked about the Boo situation. I was like, well, because they keep leaving at the last minute. That's the problem. With Boo, if you had asked me a couple of days ago, I would have said the longer this goes, the better chance he's back because things are settling down. Now it feels like the longer this goes, the less chance he's coming back because people are thinking the two sides are sort of hardened. So this is Boo watch now, and I just don't know when we're going to get an answer, but we for sure going to have an answer, I guess, by Tuesday's media day. That's for certain.
Yeah, and I know I'm just thinking of like when this kid would have an opportunity to reinstate himself with the team. To me, if he's not there Sunday evening when they get together and have their meeting after they all come back after being scattered around, if he's not there for that team meeting when all the kids check in, everybody checks in, and they have, the way they generally start the year, it's generally their commencement for the season. He's got to go before his teammates and apologize. This whole thing it's crazy that we're here, though. When I first heard about it, I had no idea that it was this deep, that it went this deep, Adam. Did you realize this was going on, like, behind the scenes?
No, because early on it was some message board, social media fodder. It was a weird Facebook post by his mom. And, these things happen at programs all over the country. They're usually not this public because there's only a few programs in the country that this much about, that are this much in the public eye. But they can escalate quickly. And, to like an outsider, this would seem like an easy thing to fix. Let's say Boo Carter says, okay, I really want to be on this team this year. Okay, well then at the team meeting before preseason practice starts, you get up there, you tell Josh Heupel, like, hey, I'm all in. He says, and then Josh Heupel says, well, you have to address some teammates, some team leaders, captains that, that things got sideways with. Okay, you get in front of the team. You say, hey, I want to be here. Sorry, guys, that things got heated. I'm dedicated. I shouldn't have missed the workouts that I did. That was a mistake on my part. I'm going to make it up to you guys. I'm here to, to play, and I'm dedicated to the team. They're going to get up, give him a little bro hug or whatever. It's all good, and then it's over. That's really all that has to happen. What I just said takes 30 seconds, but it just usually doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen with young people like that. It doesn't happen with competitive athletes that have pride. It doesn't happen with a lot of adults. I mean, there are people my age, your age, or older listening right now that should have probably done that like in a relationship or like a job situation. You just come, you sentences, you shake hands, and then it's over. But people do not swallow their pride in that way or admit mistakes. And he's going to probably have to do that, I think, for things to go forward.
Yeah, and then you have the specter of whatever happened between him and a couple teammates, which I believe something happened, which, again, only adds a little more intrigue to him going before his team, and because you really got to swallow your pride if you're going to get up there and do that, and that's going to be a tough ask of anybody. And then he's got some crazy forces pulling at him, including this guy in Chattanooga, this agent who is his mother put something out about Ace Bailey yesterday around this, speculation that maybe this guy has all of a sudden crept into his camp. Ace Bailey's agent down there in Chattanooga, the Cooper guy. So this thing has mess written all over it. John Adams, jump in.
Yeah, I think one of the intriguing things about this is, and I thought it was appropriate that Adam brought up Nico, the situation, not exactly the same, but it's very similar in some ways. Remember how much Tennessee was counting on Boo Carter. We weren't talking about, will Boo be here or Boo won't be here a few months ago. We were talking, will he play offense, defense, or both? I mean, he's going to play defense, but we saw him as a two-way player, and he has that kind of ability. A three-way player when you consider him as a dynamic punt returner. Okay, so this is a guy they're heavily counting on, i.e. he has tremendous leverage. And I think after going through what Tennessee did with Nico, it should understand this full well. No matter what happens in the next few days and whether he plays this season, even if he plays this season, I think you got to count on losing this guy after this season, because he's going to, if he does well, comes back, does well, he will want more. He is a constant problem, and you won't want to get in a situation next spring like you did with Nico. You figured this is a position you have to fill in the transfer portal at the end of this season that he won't.
John.
Yeah, go ahead.
John, I'm glad you brought up sort of that level of contribution that we think he's going to have, because I've heard from some other media members, but also a lot of Tennessee fans that has suddenly kind of changed their tune on Boo Carter, saying he's very replaceable. He's only sort of an average, a little over average player. Losing him would not mean anything. I completely disagree with that. He's a really good defensive back. He's a playmaker, which honestly we can't say there's a ton of proven playmakers on this team. I think his punt return abilities are enough that they could make the difference in winning or losing a game this year. And then at wide receiver, I was skeptical of how much he could do at wide receiver, but it's obvious that he was in the plan based in spring. I think there's a little bit of revisionist history going on around Tennessee right now, saying that if he does go, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. You guys agree?
Oh, totally. And listen, the thing is, and you said it, when you're void of playmakers and you have a proven one right there, the last thing you want is that guy walking out the door. The last thing you want if you're the head coach is it ever getting to the spot that it's gotten to. And it's almost like that Nico thing. That Nico thing really crept up on us, whereas this one looks like it's a slow march toward where we're going. The Nico thing, ironically enough, was over money, and this one's not. You know, when can you say that in all these sports we watch now? It's always about the money. Adam, the weird thing about this one is it's not about the money. That's what makes this thing so interesting. I have people texting me, well, I mean, what's the backstory? Does he want to raise? It's not about the money. It's not about the money.
Thing. Yep, same thing. I get the same questions. Well, how much does he want? It's like he doesn't want anything.
Exactly.
Well, then I don't understand. It's like, well, we don't either. I mean, you can kind of, I know summer quote-unquote voluntary workouts are a little different than practice. That being said, in this era, you're paid a rev share check. You are paid. And also coaches are present for, I think it's 20 hours a week. So these aren't completely like voluntary show up when you want to. There's 100% attendance except for Boo Carter. But all that being said, you can have a problem at your job because you're not asking for more money, but you're just not showing up to work. And I think that's sort of the closest analogy that I can make. Boo Carter missed some days, and his coworkers didn't like it. His boss didn't like it. So it's not about money. It's about that. And going back to the Nico thing, the statement that Heupel made, that Josh made right after that, of no one's bigger than the power T, that those players took that seriously. Now, I know he thought about that statement before he made it, so he knew he would have to live with it. But those players on that team took that mantra, and they have carried it through, for better or worse. For better, that's a standard they're holding. Maybe for worse, that could come back to haunt him if you lose players because of that.
Watson Brown told me yesterday, he said, I never let the players have a counsel. He said, I made those calls. He said, and guys do it differently. He said, and that's fine. He said, different head coaches. He said, that was my call. Whether a guy stays or goes on a team or gets suspended, he said, I never wanted to give the players that kind of power, because when you give them that kind of power, and you and I both know that leaders on the team have gone to that head coach and have said, hey, this guy's making a mockery of this thing. He's mocking us right now. You got to do something about it. When you get in that spot, because all these head coaches want playmakers. They understand how important it is for a Boo Carter to be on your team in 2025. They all understand that. But when you give the players this perceived power, like Adam's saying, I just think it's an extension of the thought that Adam just had. But let me bring Matt Dixon in here, who's got a question. He's got something he wants to offer as part of our discourse as well. As Adam Sparks joins in our TLD Logistics phone line on a John Adams Thursday. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, there were rumblings about Nico and his camp, talking to other schools and things back in December. So I guess they weren't totally caught off guard. How surprised were UT coaches or people within the program that this situation with Boo Carter came up? Because like you mentioned, it's not about money. We don't really know what it's about. How caught off guard or surprised were they that this has become an issue?
I think if you would ask them at the end of spring practice, is there going to be any issue with Boo Carter? Well, I don't know. Maybe I guess it depends on when you ask. Like at the end of spring practice, early summer, late summer. There's a problem because he wasn't showing up to workouts late in summer. That you couldn't foresee that. there were thoughts that he may leave like before spring practice because of the whole hubbub about like whether or not they would let him play on offense. So I think they always know that things are a little iffy with Boo Carter. It was hard to get him in the recruiting process. There was always a question of NIL money. So you always sort of need to be on your toes to keep your best players, your highest paid players. And then when there are demands made, and agreements made to use him on offense, and then you didn't in year one, you have to think about that. I mean, I think it's just a constant process. And we've talked about it before that the leverage and the power has gone much more in the direction of the players the past few years than the coaches. And so when you have players that you need to make happy in a number of ways, I think you're always a little on guard about whether or not you can keep them.
Hey, Adam, before John jumps in here, because I know he's got one other thing, but I want to talk to you about the mechanism that exists right now, the loophole, because there's been a belief, and some that have been reporting on this week, don't think that Boo Carter could be eligible right away. Now, look, we all read and see things differently. I was kind of alluding in my blog today that there's already a precedent, a way that he could do it. And I was wondering for the listener, and just, you're so immersed in this, what would be the mechanism by which a Boo Carter could essentially walk off Tennessee's team, walk on another campus, practice with the team this summer, and play in day one? How does that mechanism work?
Yeah, it's not an ironclad thing that's going to happen for sure if he did leave, but it's the possibility, it's the potential of him going somewhere. If a big if, capital IF, if he left and played at another school this year, it almost assuredly would be because he used some power that's probably going to be available from a lawsuit between Wisconsin and Miami. I think it was Wisconsin sued Miami. I think that suit's still going on. It started this summer. Don't remember the player's name, but a player back in spring, he had signed a revenue sharing agreement with Wisconsin, but it was before the house settlement came, so it was sort of a pre-agreement. And then he decided after that, well, I've changed my mind. I want to go transfer to Miami. They said, no, you're under contract here. You can't leave. He said, well, that contract was based on parameters and a settlement that wasn't even settled when I signed that. So he left on his own, even though it was outside the transfer portal window. And then Wisconsin sued Miami for a breach of contract by taking away one of its players outside of the transfer portal window. The way that I think the NCAA is potentially going to avoid a legal battle there is that they're going to permit here's the thing, the NCAA can't tell a student, just a regular student, that they can't transfer from one university to another. So if you can't do that, that means a student who is a student athlete Boo Carter could just withdraw from UT as a student and then enroll at another school as a student. And then lo and behold, maybe a couple weeks later, he turns up on the football roster because he walked on. And maybe he is put on scholarship after that because as a preferred walk-on, he earned a scholarship. It's all kind of hazy and an eye roll because we understand tampering goes on in all these situations at pretty much any school. But there is a very, very narrow path that he could try to get to another school if he left. Now, if that happened, I think UT would probably go after that school for tampering. But there is a possibility that he could try to do that.
Unbelievable. In the meantime, John, jump in here because the only rule in college sports now is there are no rules. That's the only rule.
Tony, you and Adam keep saying you don't believe this is about the money.
Nope.
Man, I have a hard time buying that because it seems like in today's era, it's always about the money at some level. Maybe I'm getting too conspiratorial here, but okay, before spring, we know that one of his let's call it a demand. Maybe that's too strong, but he wanted to play two ways. Okay, so they assured him, I guess, that he could play two ways. Now you tell me, Tony, that there's an agent in Chattanooga in his ear. Well, my guess is he's not telling him, man, they're really treating you well at Tennessee. They're giving you everything you deserve. No, my guess is he would be telling him, your value is greater than what they're paying you. And so what you need to do is show that you're not content with this. It's not a holdout, but it's an expression of discontentment. So to me, if he sits down with Heupel and he says, okay, this is it, I really feel like I deserve more money. I just don't ever rule out the money factor in any negotiation now in college football.
Well, John, if we play that out, imagine this scenario. If we're just speculating. Imagine he is allowed to come back on the team, and then also paid more to come back. I mean, that is a bad precedent for team chemistry if you were to do that. Hey, guys, I'm sorry. Also, I got some more money.
I know it's not good for team chemistry, but in this era, what is good for team chemistry?
Well, almost nothing.
Yeah, I just think team chemistry's kind of left the building already. So, and I'm not saying it's a wise move. I didn't think what Nico did was a wise move either. It was a ploy, and it backfired, I guess, because he's gone, and he's in a worse situation, I think. But I just have a hard time believing that he doesn't want more money.
He doesn't. That's not what this is about.
Okay.
I understand his sentiment, Adam, because that's the thing that's weird about it. People are like, well, what's the rub? Well, the rub is he's quit coming around.
Why is he quit coming around?
I don't know. But listen, his head coach was calling around with different contacts around the state the other day looking for him. Hey, have you seen him? If you see him or talk to him, tell him to get in touch with us. That's not a good sign. I mean, that's just, we're getting ready to start our season. And to Adam's point, I'm not so sure Boo Carter at the end of the day wouldn't be more important to the equation than a Nico at this point in terms of being able to overcome something.
I think John. I was thinking about what John said, and I think this is. I'm not saying this is necessarily in Boo Carter's situation, but I do think with young people getting the amount of money that they are now in college, that it brings up like an interesting dynamic. If you are one of the highest paid players on the team, you can approach that in one of two different ways. Either you can say, I'm one of the highest paid guys, which means I'm one of the most valuable, which means I get a little more leeway to do what I want. When the other side of it is, if I'm one of the highest paid guys, that means I'm held up by a higher standard. I can't miss anything. You can really look at it either way. I'm not saying Boo Carter's doing that, but I think that is a challenge for, 18, 19, 20-year-olds to look at it different ways about when you're paid a lot of money. What does that necessarily mean? Does that mean you can get away with more, or does that mean you need to do more?
I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad I'm not in that. And one of these coaches. I mean, this thing is because I'm not so sure what Tennessee could have done to not be in the spot that they're in right now. The more I've kind of gathered information on this thing and kind of looked at it, and so Adam, when you talk to people, right? Do they feel like this all works out and he's here? Do they feel like, just from your perspective, what % chance you put on it? Which is a real silly thing to ask, but it's my job to ask silly things.
A few days ago, I told somebody who asked me that 70-30, 70% he comes back. Yesterday, I was talking to somebody over at UT, actually, and I said, I flipped on that. I think it's 30-70. I think it's a 30% chance he comes back. And this person said, wow, that sounds optimistic.
Wow.
So, I honestly think nobody knows for sure because this is such a weird situation. Like I said earlier in the call, 30 seconds of saying something and shaking a couple of hands probably gets Boo Carter on the team for good, and we just don't even talk about this much more. But it's just sort of getting to that. It's a very simple thing to fix this, but it also could be a hard thing because it hasn't happened yet.
And there's a lot of ego involved, and there's a lot of voices in that kid's ear and everything else. But, hey, Adam, listen, I appreciate you jumping on short notice with us and furthering the story yesterday. Tell the living listener where they can find you on the socials and anything else you're doing that you want to promote. Go for it, man.
Yeah, in print, the News Sentinel, online, knoxnews.com, on X, at Adam Sparks, and we'll have the continued Boo Carter stuff. But early next week, I think probably on Monday, I'll have a deep look into this 2025 roster and a lot of numbers that are going to surprise people about the configuration of this roster compared to all Josh Heupel's previous rosters.
Very interesting. By the blue chip ratio, they're a national championship eligible team this year coming into the season. The blue chip ratio,
and that's part of it. But there's a difference between blue chip recruits and blue chip players. And you have to factor in how much they're playing, where they came from, how long they played. And so there's hits and misses, and I'll get into that in that piece.
Adam, you're the best. Thank you, Adam Sparks. One more time, hour number 2, as we continue. Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan, who's just passed away. News is floating around out there, and boy, that's that as a reformed Hulkster from back in the day, that's tough news to hear. But what an impact that man made on culture and professional wrestling. And so condolences up to his family and friends as we go take a brief time out, and we'll come back and begin hour 2. Love to get your thoughts on all this stuff, the quarterback situation around college football, the Boo Carter thing, if you have a thought on it, or anything else that's on your alleged mind, as we continue with more hour 2 after this.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Hey, Tony B listeners, I'm Billy from Grade A Grounds, a UT grad bringing Knoxville a better way to raise money. We roast premium coffee fully branded for your team or cause. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% to local needs. Let's win on and off the field. Visit gradeagrounds.com to start your winning fundraiser today.
Living Vol fan, we're on the countdown to kickoff, and that means you need to make sure you are game ready. Head to Alumni Hall to get this season's Tennessee sideline apparel. Nike, Columbia, Peter Millar, and more. Shop top brands for the entire family. Hats, Yeti, tailgating gear, and so much more. If it's for the Tennessee fan, Alumni Hall has it. Spend $150 and get $10 in Hall cash rewards. Shop at alumnihall.com. Download their app or shop any of their locations in Knoxville, Murfreesboro, or the Tri-Cities. Alumni Hall, the ultimate shopping destination for Vol fans.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, 5th quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night, Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair. And they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms. And I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayapp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
I'll tell you one thing. That Will Heflin sounds incredible on that ad. For him to do all those voices, VIP Play Will, he is extremely talented. Let's, without further ado, speaking of talent, my main man live downtown Knoxville, where the Smokies homestand continues. And Eris, how we doing, my brother?
Doing fantastic. How you doing, dude?
You know, I'm kind of dragging because it was just announced, and it's ironic that you guys are having a wrestling at your place this week on Saturday because Hulk Hogan just passed away. Just came down.
Man, I didn't hear about that.
I know, right? And he was kind of bigger than the deal, so that's wild, isn't it, man? Did you watch wrestling back in the day?
Oh, back in the day, definitely. I'm definitely not adept to the current characters and everything like that, but back in the day, for sure.
Eris, tell me about what we've got coming up this week, because I know we've got some really great weather, man. We've had some sweet days for some baseball here.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful sunshiny day today, 91 degrees, but it'll cool down a little bit. Sit in the shade and have a half-price draft beer today and every Thursday at the ballpark, guys. Half-price draft beers, and it's not just your domestics, you know. If you're into IPAs, porters, whatever it may be, all draft beers are 50% off. And if you're into the Flying Panda products as well, you know, your seltzers and whatnot, a couple of those Flying Panda products are 50% off today as well.
So for the thirsty crowd, a little something for you on a thirsty Thursday. How about on Friday, my man?
Hey, it's July 25th, and that means that we're only a few months away from December 25th. It's Christmas in July.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's the day everybody has had circled on their calendar. It's one of our most anticipated theme nights of the entire season. And, of course, it's going to be bigger and better than ever. If you haven't made it out to Covenant Health Ballpark, it is a state-of-the-art facility, and we're going to be decked out in all of the green and gold and red. We'll have Santa Claus here. Mrs. Claus will be here. Decorations galore. This is going to be a holly jolly sight, everybody, and that's this Friday. First 2,000 fans through the gates are going to get a plush doll of one of the most adorable mascots on earth, Knox. He's wearing a little Santa hat there. So first 2,000 fans to the gates are going to get Knox plush giveaway. Santa will be here all night, and fireworks after the game as well. Christmas in July. Tickets are going fast. Before you know, we're going to have standing room only. So buy your tickets right now before time runs out for that.
Let's go, man. We're rolling right now. All right, so Saturday.
Yeah, man, you prefaced it. So we're going to have live wrestling matches take place after our game. It's a wrestling-themed night. definitely have to do a tribute now to one of the most influential and biggest personalities in wrestling history with the breaking news right there. But after the game, we'll have live wrestling matches by Pile Driver Pro Wrestling. They're right out of Kingsport, Tennessee. We got wrestlers from all over the tri-state area, from North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, Georgia. They're coming to participate in these wrestling matches. You know, double your pleasure, double your fun. You get to come, watch a great game of baseball, see a fireworks show, and then we're going to have some more fireworks after the game with live wrestling matches on site. Beer sales will continue for the wrestling matches. It's going to be fantastic, bro.
I've never in my life had a bad time at a baseball game. Even like games I've gone to where, you know, you see your team just get whacked. Baseball is just a great game, and I've never had a bad time at a wrestling match. Never. So there are going to be a lot of people smiling on Saturday. That's going to be a great night there.
Absolutely, bro. And then Sunday, you know, if something for the kids. If you have a child in your life, maybe not a son or daughter, maybe niece and nephew, little cousin, Peppa Pig, big star in the cartoon world, she's going to be here on Sunday for a meet and greet. So why don't you treat your child to a fun day at the ballpark? All of our Sunday games are day games, 2 o'clock first pitch. Come see Peppa Pig. But the biggest thing, I don't know if you caught it, we just broke the news on it earlier this week. On August 5th, Tuesday, August 5th, it's going to be free hot dog night at the ballpark. All the hot dogs you can eat. Treat yourself. Be responsible. Do the 9-inning challenge. This is the time for you to come on out. Free hot dog night is August 5th. Put it on your calendars.
Eris, you and your Greek heritage, what do you put on a hot dog?
Dude, I put on mustard, but then I like to be a little out there, and I put oregano on it, too.
Let's go, man. I knew you were going to say some wacko thing like that. Oregano on a hot dog? Where did you experiment with that?
Well, you know, if you ever had a Greek salad, you know, you put the oregano on there, and I put oregano on a lot of stuff. But that's how you give it a little bit of the accoutrement, you know, for a hot dog.
You know, Eris, last time I was around you, I was wondering what that odor was. And now come to think, hey, tell the living listener how they can find you, and I appreciate you.
Hey, man, love to be on the show. Love chatting with you. Hope you're going to be at the ballpark soon. Guys, if you haven't made it out to the game yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. We have 22 regular season games left. So we got games this month, next month, and, of course, into September. Find us all about us on SmokiesBaseball.com and at Smokies Baseball on our social media platforms.
You can't go wrong when you go to a Smokies game, and I hope you have a Doc Gooden, my friend. Great talking to you.
Take care, brother.
Yes, sir. Matt Dixon, I want your thoughts on Hulk Hogan passing away. We go to the phones at 865-200-5402 if you want to get in with us, anything that's on your alleged mind. And the era of wrestling I grew up on, Coco Ware sung a song one time, and the lyric went something like this: but sometimes love, it sounds like a fight. It sounds like an argument. It sounds just like a pile driver. Yeah, a pile driver. Matt Dixon, your thoughts?
Obviously, a very sad day for the wrestling community. I mean, Hulk Hogan was bigger than life there for a time. Was one of the probably the biggest reason that pro wrestling kind of exploded and blew up there in the late 80s and 90s. And I mean, I'll never forget the night that he, you know, joined the NWO at Bash at the Beach. That's one of the more iconic memories of my childhood, and one of those kind of where were you at moments. So
it was unbelievable when he came out and got that spray paint, and he did he paint Savage's back? It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I popped immaculate for that, man, in the old NWO days. Oh my gosh. Matt just popped me. All right, let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Laura is running things. John, I would say she's running things rather smoothly. We've had all these guests on the TLD Logistics Hotline. We've been going one after the other. She's been handling those properly. There's been no dead air. It's been a much more focused program with her, hasn't it?
Yes, I mentioned to her how calm she always seems, and I think that's a good, it's good to have some of that with the program, particularly the way you are, as you would say, no offense. But, she's very poised. Nothing perturbs her. Working with her, you get a sense of security. Things are going to be okay. No matter what happens, if there's a glitch, a problem pops up, she'll handle it. She'll steer you through troubled waters. If there's turbulence in the air, she'll land that plane.
Good.
And I don't get any of that with you. No.
To the phones
no
we get. To the phones we go. Let's get our first call in. Hello and welcome. As all lines are currently jammed, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Been about a week or so.
My man,
I don't know how long it's
been. Wheels of Steel, William. William on the Wheels of Steel.
Willie.
How you doing, William?
I'm not doing too well because I believe on Tuesday one of my favorite singers, Ozzy Osbourne, moved on to the afterlife.
And you are, William, you're like what? You're a young guy, right?
13, yeah.
And you love metal and hard rock music, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
But anyway.
What else you got for us, William? You always have something. That day you came in here a couple weeks ago and brought the thing about the rankings, how Fox had these teams all ranked in screwy order, and it wasn't even alphabetical. I mean, you got an eye like a hawk, my man.
Thank you, Tony. But so I've been hearing things about Arkansas that they have a 30-year-old wide receiver. Monte Harrison, I believe. He's a sophomore.
It's happened in college football before. Chris Wenke won a Heisman Trophy when he was 28. Hey, John, how old was Kelly Washington when he played here?
I want to say 25, 26.
Yeah, it happens. It happens from time to time. What's the story on Monte Harris? How did he just go back to school late?
I don't think so, but the backstory, coming out of high school, he was highly recruited for football and baseball. And in July of 2013, he committed to the Nebraska Cornhuskers for football. And then, and he was also, for the national ranking overall, 22, that's okay. And then, I guess for the offense, 4. That's pretty good.
Hey, Matt, I'm gonna get Matt Dixon in here. Matt, are you following this so far? I want to make sure we're on the same page here.
I hadn't heard of this guy before, but I'm gonna look him up in Phil Steele as we speak.
Phil Steele to the uninitiated. William, you're my main man. Do you believe the Boo Carter hype, or do you believe he's here when it's all said and done? Where are you going on Boo Carter?
I think he's probably gonna stay.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to that. I hope you're right. One thing about it, and William, thank you for the call. Hey, John, head coaches do not want to kick great playmakers off their team or potential game-changing guys. And Boo Carter is certainly that, John. Like Adam was saying, and this is what we all do. When a guy, like in baseball, is about to enter free agency, you start talking about his warts. when you have a deal like this, where as a fan you're getting ready to brace for the worst, when you hear a guy like Adam Sparks say internally they think it's like more that he's not going to be here than he's going to be here, fans are preparing themselves for that. This Boo Carter guy, John, is a special talent, and coaches don't throw guys like that off their team. They just don't.
It's hard to do that for a coach. I mean, a coach has to there's so much a coach has to juggle.
Yep.
And team chemistry is a greater challenge than ever. But still, this is a talent-driven business. He could be the most talented player on the roster. Tony, this is usually Brian's job. I still remember the day that he broke the news that Ray Liotta, one of my favorite actors, died.
Yes.
It kind of took the air out of the room, and I struggled to finish the show. Nonetheless, my point is he often breaks news. We just have a story Mike Wilson wrote on our website, knoxnews.com, that Reese Chapman is returning to Tennessee baseball.
Yeah, Chapman's staying, and Bargo's going to NC State. Matt, how about Tony Vols helping Bargo? He made a few calls. Tony helped find him a landing spot.
As you would expect, I guess Bargo becomes the player to be named later in the Cannon Peebles trade from a few years ago. So that's a really good program, well coached. They don't do anything great. They don't wow you, but just kind of solid all around, which is kind of Bargo's game anyway. So that'll be a nice fit for him. He'll probably get into the postseason.
And he can play multiple positions, so there's a value in that, particularly with the limited roster. But I really think it's significant. I know we don't want to get too much into baseball this time of year, but I think it's significant that Reese Chapman's coming back. That guy could have a big year next year.
I think that's true, but he's going to have to earn a job because I think they've got a crowded outfield. In fact, they've got a crowded baseball team. They've got a crowded pitching staff. Tony Vitello and his crew, I'm not going to worry about them. They're almost like the sun rising in the east and setting in the west at this point.
Tony, how would Tony Vitello handle the Boo Carter situation?
It never would have gotten to this point. Back to the phones we go. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
Hey, W. Lynn, welcome in.
Got off speaker. Sorry to act like Titans Bill. I had to get off speakerphone. But
no doubt.
Let me ask you something about Mama Boo. Was her question to Heupel was, do you have measures in place for players that lose their way? Was that her basic wondering or question?
I don't. She's had various postings. Which one are you referencing?
It seems like somebody told me there was something where she said, do y'all have measures in place for a kid that's messing up, whatever you want to call it?
No. She said coaches. She said coaches. And coaches only. How do you handle it when players don't get along? That's what she said. And that's a reference to the fact that I believe this, her son has fallen out of favor with his teammates because they've been working out this summer and doing what's asked of them, and he's kind of just doing his own thing.
Well, and if somehow he did come back, I don't know if it's even legal that you can run a kid to death to where he's throwing up in garbage cans like Pat Summitt did to make up for all the missed things he's missed.
Well, that's a really good point, John. I think those days are gone when Pat used to get them off the bus and make them run till they puked. Is that real, John, or is that just fable?
I've heard that, and I believe it. I mean,
look, guys, I dated a lady Vol in 1978. It's true. They did drills when the practice started where they ran suicides and stuff all around the court, and she had those big, giant garbage cans that were in Stokely Athletic Centers periodically around the court, and most people were expected to throw up at some point.
W. Lynn, since you debated dated a lady Vol. Was she a lot taller than you?
No, she was 5'8".
Oh, okay.
I'm not mentioning any names. I'm going dragnet on this.
No, I've heard that story about about Pat. I've had former players talk about that. So,
and that was just the start of practice. Every year.
Well,
and I don't know we could do that with Boo Carter to make up for everything he's missed. I don't know that we can get away with that. I don't know.
Matt, do you think inevitably if they put Humpty Dumpty back together again and Heupel's able to salvage this thing, do you think they just nod, wink, wink the making up of those workouts?
They'd probably try to do that publicly at least. I think there would still be some internal punishments that would apply, certainly. And I think a half game suspension or something like that, maybe even a game or two would probably fit. But no, I mean, I don't know what the reason for him to just start skipping stuff is. Like that's the oddest thing about this. Like there's no real reason for it.
Very, very strange situation. I mean, maybe.
And the reason I don't like game suspensions is you're penalizing the fans and the players and the coaches. I'm all for doing something off the field, whether I know about it or not. I don't like this missing games because that punishes everybody involved in the team.
John, do you have a stance on that as a columnist for 40-plus years?
Yeah, I think that's because that's a motivational ploy for the player. I mean, when you deprive a player of playing time, I think that's a significant punishment, more so than anything else. Now, it's a different world today because players have so much leverage, and that's why I think people keep saying Adam Sparks from the News Center was saying it when he was on that he thinks the chances are 70-30 that Boo is leaving. The reason being, the way things are today, with the players having as much leverage, they're just less apt to tolerate adversity. I think young people in general tend to be that way right now. So the lure of the transfer portal is so great. And there are going to be some schools saying, Boo, you're not treating you great down there at Tennessee. We'll take care of you. And so I think there's a chance that makes it a good opportunity. Rather than tolerate punishment, he could say, I'm not going to go through all that. I'll just go wherever and play. So, yeah.
You're probably right. Well, I do, if we ever have collective bargaining and figure all this out, if a guy gets paid $120,000 NIL or whatever you want to call it, and he's suspended 2 games, then he loses $10,000 a game. That's $20,000. That should be in the contracts.
But we're a long way. There are no contracts now, though.
I know.
As you know.
I know.
So there's no way you can say, okay, well, you miss your next payment if you're not. No.
I know it. It's a long way off.
The players have all the leverage. And think about it from a different angle. We're talking about the teammates. Football is a hard game. Off-season conditioning, it's a hard game. Preparation for a football season is challenging. All these players are going through this. They're putting in all that work, sweat, and they go through all this, and then they got this teammate who's not doing that. And that infuriates them. Okay, what if the players said? What if say the leaders of the team said, well, if he doesn't accept punishment, then we aren't going to practice. We're going to skip the next meeting.
Yep.
And
that can happen too.
And that could be more. That's more than just one person. What if the team leader said, "Hey, if you don't handle this the right way, then we're protesting."
Yeah, that's true. I tell you what, And as far as this Ed McMahon's Publishers Clearinghouse thing, I think they ought to have a weekly show on ESPN and have some guy out there with put the head of Ed McMahon on top of his body and explain all these schools that are getting rejected for every NIL deal they've tried. Have you heard about that? Most of them are getting rejected.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen. They've already done a thing because the collectives were getting ready to file a lawsuit against all these collectives like the Spires of the world and Florida's and Georgia and all these people. There's no way at the end of this that those kids are not going to make free market money. There's no way. They can sit there and act like it right now and pretend like, oh, all they're getting is a piece of the $22 million in a rev share and this and that. I don't believe that for 5 seconds. This thing will end up in court. Now they announced a day and a half ago what they're calling now a soft cap, which means that collectives can still pay guys but they still have to go through that clearinghouse. The minute they start rejecting, imagine this. Imagine Alabama loses a 5-star player because they can't get his deal right because they can't justify it through that clearinghouse. There's no way that happens. But W. Lynn,
I agree, Tony. Yeah. I totally. Are we paying our players now as if that clearinghouse isn't even there? Are we doing it now?
Yes, we are. And you have a great day. But here's the thing. The guys on this year's roster is really bloated because they jammed all their spending. For instance, I hear Ohio State's roster is around $40 million. Texas is around $40 million. In other words, it got very expensive very quickly. And the toothpaste is not going back in the tube. If you want to pretend like it is and we have a cap now, you pretend like it is because that's all you're doing is pretending as we go back to the phones and get our next call in. And they've really created an unsustainable system here. It's really silly. And they know that, too, which is even goofier. But welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. I have 3 topics that I wanted to get off.
Hit it.
One, close with Brooks Austin and his appearance and how great he is. And I got a Boo Carter question. But first, Hulk Hogan, love him or hate him, things that have been said about him over the years, post-retirement by other people, no matter what, man, Hulk Hogan is immortal. Him passing away is it doesn't seem real because he was godlike.
Yep.
There's been so many things in wrestling that you and I grew up with. So many guys turning good, turning bad, doing this, that, and the other, but nothing is even remotely close to the night when Hulk Hogan dropped the leg on Randy Savage and turned heel and changed wrestling forever. Most iconic moment in wrestling history, probably. Just rest in peace, and he brought all of us a ton of joy and entertainment through our childhood.
No question about it, man. No question. On Boo Carter, hit it.
My question on Boo Carter is, him coming back or not, if he doesn't play football for the Tennessee Volunteers this fall, he basically can't play football this year, correct?
No, it's not true.
He's not been in the portal, and you didn't have to be in the portal like way back at the end of when the portal went.
That's why Wisconsin is filing a tampering lawsuit against Miami. Miami, after the fact, portal-wise, shook a kid off Wisconsin's roster, and what the kid did is he enrolled at Miami, unbeknownst basically to anybody, showed up down there, and then said, oh, I want to go out for football. But he wasn't recruited to play football there. He enrolled first.
So he's a walk-on.
Correct.
So Boo could go be a walk-on. Boo could go be a walk-on somewhere and get paid NIL to pay for his school. Okay, that's the answer to the question.
It's weird. I mean, it's there. You know, and like we were talking with Adam Sparks last hour, it's obviously nothing's 100%, but there does exist a mechanism by which he could end up at Colorado, as strange as that sounds. And I do think Colorado is the place where ultimately he would end up if that happened.
Yep, I totally agree. Brooks Austin, man, that dude is phenomenal at what he does. His shows are so informative and entertaining. He's funny and just a really kind dude also, man. He went out of his way for me and Jordan Moore to help us get access to all 22 game footage for Tennessee's games last fall. Just an incredibly warm and kind dude, and you guys having him on is fantastic. There's two things, if you have him on again before football season, that was touched on that I'd love for you to ask. One being Dixon asked him two questions, and he didn't get to the second one, which is how does Aguilar's strength fit Heupel's offense? And then the other one was he mentioned the three things that bogged Tennessee's offense down last year. I would love to follow up on which one of those three did he feel like was the most paramount to the problems. Was it the
hey Rusty, what's your answer to that?
Missing of deep balls.
Yeah, I think that's right. Anytime you got a touchdown on the field and you can't get it because your quarterback, and he called him abysmal at it, and abysmal's a pretty good term. Nico was just half asleep, guys. I mean, it just kind of was what it was.
Brooks did it. It was footwork related. He just he never was in the right position to throw the ball accurately downfield. He was always he was everywhere. He was scatterbrained and he would take the shots, but he was never on platform. It was always ugly. And somebody put a video on Twitter the other day. I'm sure everybody's seen it. It was all of Nico's overthrows, and there was like 15 of them that were wide open, deep touchdowns. There was 2 in the Arkansas game, and I've mentioned it before. He hits one of those, and that changes that ball game, and we're not going to Ohio State. We're going to Atlanta, and then worst case, we're hosting a playoff game instead of going to freezing Columbus.
So Tennessee went from overthrow Joe to overthrow Nico?
100%, John. 100%.
What are the odds?
It wasn't as glaring. It wasn't as glaring last year, I don't think, as it was with Joe.
Yeah.
Because of the throwing an orange 100 yards and all that type of stuff, and we weren't so close with Joe's starting season. Last year we were so close to being 11-1, and the Alabama game should have been a 21-point game at the halftime, us up, and we just missed shot after shot. Those are more glaring because we were so close to being a going to Atlanta team last year.
Excuse me, but do you?
Sorry, John.
Well, I'm just wondering because Tony brought this up earlier. I thought it was significant. Tennessee fans, people here talking about Boo Carter, the possibility that he would leave, and some players are down and playing. Well, just how good is he anyway? I think there's some of that goes on with Nico since he's left Tennessee. He wasn't what I thought he would be. I thought the guy would be a superstar. I was wrong on that. But I don't know that he's a total washout. I still think he could be a pretty good quarterback. I think there's a tendency now to focus on his shortcomings as opposed to his potential. Do you think that's right, or do you think he's just a bust?
No, I think that's got a lot of validity to it. I think guys have the right to get better. I saw Nico play in high school every week on TV and a few times in person. He did everything based on athleticism. It was not fundamentally sound when he was in high school, and I think that reared its head in college wasn't fundamentally sound. But I do think there's some truth to Tennessee probably could have been better off having him back just based on the fact that he would have been in his third year in the program. Fundamentals could have got better, but I think we might have got lucky with a guy who throws the deep ball really, really, really well. And that's kind of what I wanted to hear Brooks say. I think Nico's still got tons of potential left, and he can get better, John. The answer.
Thank you, Rusty. Good talking to you. Hey, Matt, I think this Aguilar guy fits fits what Josh Heupel wants to do offensively better than Nico did. And if this guy goes out and plays well this fall, it's almost like a can't win for Heupel, because people are going to be going, why? How can you find a guy off the scrap heap? This is twice now you found a guy off the scrap heap that can run your offense. Why can't you guys recruit somebody and find somebody that can run your offense? It's very strange.
Yeah, it will be if that plays out, which hopefully it does.
Yeah.
I guess the thing about Aguilar and Hooker is those guys were really experienced and had played a lot and had, failed a lot in college and dealt with adversity and handled it and been able to respond to it. Whereas I don't think Nico did. I think he kind of shelled up the first time he really, faced that last year and didn't handle it well. And it'll always be that what if about what could have happened and could he have developed into what we all hoped he would be. But I just think Aguilar is a good fit right now for what Heupel does. A guy, quick decision maker, and a guy who likes to throw it deep. So hopefully you can make that work in some way and recapture some of that early Hooker magic that you had.
Matt, bringing up Tennessee and just how this thing's going to work. VIP Play has lines for all 12 Tennessee Vol football games. They've got them up there. The first sports book in the state to do that. They're accepting wagers. All look-ahead lines on Vol football. Also, you want to go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. Use our promo code TNTony when you do. First bet, $5 or more, they're going to throw $100 in bonus bets in your account instantly. Also, remember, they're always live, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, and options. That means my man Bino can go on there tonight if he so chooses, or chooses, I should say. And, maybe take the 1.5, take the over on the number of errors his Yankees are going to commit this evening. But if you have a bet in mind, VIP Play team, you might want to reach out there, Bino. The VIP Play team will create it for you because everybody gets treated like a VIP at VIP Play. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And we come back with more and get some more calls in on a John Adams Thursday presented by Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. Incredible fun had by all after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Your Smokies are back home this week and so many great promotions every single night. Like All-You-Can-Eat Wednesday and Thirsty Thursday with half-off draft beers. Huge special guest on Friday. You guessed it, Santa and Mrs. Claus. It's Christmas in July. And on Saturday, it's wrestling night with live matches after the game. Fireworks both nights. Sunday, make sure to get the little ones out early with Peppa Pig. I'm Peppa Pig. Grab your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Since 2001, Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has been the trusted and preferred name for over 70,000 Knoxville locals. Looking for expert plumbing services and HVAC services, including repairs, replacements, or maintenance. Voted best plumber in Knoxville and one of Knoxville's best HVAC companies 7 years in a row. Pipe Wrench is a fully licensed mechanical contractor and committed to excellence and craftsmanship, so you can trust our certified experts to go above and beyond to meet your plumbing and HVAC needs, no matter what problem arises. We also make it easy with transparent pricing, free on-site estimates for replacements, and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing when credit approved. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or look online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony B here with the great Sakai Ziegler for
Advent. Hey, whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Tony B back with you. Let's go back to our phones. 865-200-5402. Got about 5 to play. I'm playing in pain today. I'm not going to lie to you. Laura's producing the show in the studio. John Adams is there as well, and I'm up here. But nobody cares. So let's go to the phones to get our next call in. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Sam from Nashville.
Hey, Sam. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. I like Brooks Austin's call. He kind of reaffirmed that stat I brought up the other day about Aguilar and his defense giving up points and always playing from behind. So it gave me a little reassurance on that. And for John, if you didn't hear it, but every interception he threw his last year at App State, they were trailing in the game by an average of 10 points. So I'm thinking Heupel can get that corrected.
Isn't that remarkable, John? John, how bad that App State team must have been last year for them to be down 10. So the kids out there trying to make plays, essentially, is what that tells me.
Yeah, that still raises a red flag with me. And certainly you would think he could reduce that, but he also, in the SEC, he's going to be going against a much higher level of DBs and against probably a higher level in general of defensive coordinators who can scheme things effectively. I don't just dismiss those 14 interceptions. That would be a concern with me.
Anything else, Sam, in the Music City?
Boo Carter thing, man, I mean, it just takes such the air out of the the upward trajectory of the season.
I know.
And the lack of foresight from some of these kids is unbelievable to me. I mean, we talk about Texas and Ohio State having $40 million rosters. Myles Garrett has a $40 million salary. That's what a defensive player can get if they stick their head down. He played for one college team. He's played for one NFL team, and he's making a buku amount of money. No pun intended. But just so if he doesn't play football this year or something goes screwy with Boo Carter, same thing with Nico going out to UCLA, that cannot be good for your long-term NFL future. It cannot.
No, I think that's a good point.
It's astounding.
Yeah, but don't you think, though, a lot of these players don't see big picture.
No.
They just don't look that far ahead. They don't see what could be at stake here or how much money this could cost them long term. I mean, that's a great point you make, but I don't
guys,
think they see that.
John, this guy apparently is under the tutelage of Ace Bailey's agent, or he's at least in the picture with him. This is the same guy, Ace Bailey's agent from Chattanooga, that told the first 4 teams in the draft, or teams 2 through 5, we're not going to work out for you, and we're not going to let you see his medical records because we want to go to the Wizards a little later in the first round where he can get more playing time. If he would, if the NBA would have taken him up on that offer, he would have lost several $1 million under the guidance of that guy in Chattanooga. I mean, that is idiotic that you would not want to go as high as you can in a draft. But, Sam, we're out of time. Please shoot me that email when you get a chance. I can't wait for you to get back blogging. TGMD, thank you, brother. John Adams, thank you. Brian Hartman, thank you. Horizontal Basilio saying, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you to Laura on the board, and happy birthday to my kids. Fun stuff. We love you. Peace. Bino will be in here tomorrow, but listen anyway. Peace. God bless.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
I mean, Danny White claims they have a 24,000 seat waiting list. I'd like to see it. I don't believe that for 5 seconds. But every other year, when Florida and Alabama are in Tennessee's building, that's a really nice home schedule. Florida's home schedule this year, read off some of the teams that are coming that Florida fans are going to get an opportunity to see.